Welcome everybody to Strasbourg. Yes, we are watching this week. We're watching some tennis. I said we would if matches happened, if they make sense. And this one, it makes sense. Raducanu and Kasatkina. We have to watch this match for Dasha, but also Raducanu. We've got a lot of Raducanu fans out there as well. So this is going to be interesting. Dasha needs some wins. She hasn't been winning lately. She's had some pretty tough draws. And Raducanu's been really good. She came in, I think, with a wild card, so wasn't supposed to play here, but decided to get a little extra form. She played well last week, considering, and eventually lost to Gauff. So not a bad loss. But let's see how this one goes. They've played before. I think they played once before. I'm pretty sure they played before. I think. Nope, they've never played. Actually, no, they have. They played twice. 3 times, sorry. They played twice. They played three times, and Dasha has won all 3. So it's 0-3. Probably one of the only players Raducanu's played that many times. She hasn't played many players more than 3. So, probably one of her biggest rivals. She's never won a set against Dasha, which might be surprising. That includes 2 matches last year. One was on grass, where Dasha got the straight sets win, and also on the indoor hard court. So this is the first time they play on clay. So we'll see what happens. We'll see whether or not Raducanu can get her first win against Dasha. Can we see the shirt properly? One of one. Dash is the quarterfinal queen. Yeah, cool. What's your prediction of this match? Dash up in 3. Want to see Raducanu on the rankings again? Well, she's been up the rank. She's up to like 43, so her ranking is rising. Watch the ranking show. I made a video. Literally there. So Raducanu currently is ranked in the live rankings. She is ranked 43. If she wins this match, she will go up to number 41. And if she wins this tournament, which is a 500 event, it's worth 500 points. And she will go into the top 30. But she won't be seated at the French Open because that was yesterday. You have to be ranked today, right? So if she does win the tournament, Raducanu, she will be back in the top 30. Which would be huge. But this tournament is stacked. This is a very, very busy tournament. This is not going to be easy for anybody. It's a very tricky event. Dasha, she's number 17 in the world. If she wins this tournament, she'll go up to number 12, depending on what Raducanu does. So if Dasha can win, she will go flying up the rankings. I'll tell you some of the other players are playing here, though, because this is a stacked event. Pegula is playing this event. Navarro is playing this event. Badosa is playing this event. Raducanu is playing this event. We have Kalinskaya, and by the way, the winner of this will play Collins, so it's already a very tough draw. Kalinskaya is playing Pegula. That's already locked in. We don't know. Look, Badosa might play. She hasn't played much lately, but she's on the she's in the draw. Krejcikova is already out, but it's her first match back for months, so no surprise there. Haddad Maia won a match earlier today against Towson, which was a good win. So it's a pretty busy. The top half of the draw is stacked because you've got Pegula, Kalinskaya, Collins. Winner of this plays Collins. You got Badosa, Samsonova, Parry, and Buzkova. So it's a very, very stacked top half. I'm sitting on the fence with this one. Yeah, I mean, I think Raducanu is the favorite. I think Raducanu is the favorite. I'm pretty sure Raducanu is the favorite. Is this the last time before Roland Garros? Yeah, this week is the final week before the French. This is the final event, or final week before Roland Garros. And then it's the big show. By the way, Djokovic is not playing tomorrow, so tomorrow we might actually get a day off. Tomorrow might be a day, unless we get Collins Raducanu tomorrow, then we will get a day off. I don't know if they're playing tomorrow though. I don't know if today's matches get a day off tomorrow? I'm just trying to think. How's the draw go? So Saturday final, Friday semis, quarterfinals Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. So then, yeah, the winners of today might get a day off tomorrow and then play on. Yeah, because I think the bottom half of the draw play tomorrow. Oh, maybe not. Hajaj Maya played today. Oh, but Hajaj Maya I think was supposed to play. She was supposed to play Cornet, and then somebody withdrew and she got promoted. So yeah, everyone playing today maybe not, because Freya and Blinkov are playing. I don't know. The schedule should be coming out in like the next hour anyway. So, hey Peter, thanks for coming back as a member. Forecast a bit dodgy in Geneva this week as well. Don't say that. Don't say that. We don't want that. We don't want a dodgy weather. Definitely don't want a dodgy weather. Is this 500 happening every year? Never heard of it. It has been around, I'm pretty sure, for a bit. Jay.
Was the Rome Masters the best combined Masters event this year? So many great matches both on the app and WTA, and the Italian fans really showed up. I am going to miss Clay Sob.
Yes. I think Rome was the best tournament of the year. Australian Open is the only tournament I think that competes. Because the Australian Open had, the Djokovic-Alcaraz match, the Swiatek Keys Sabalenka. I think the Australian Open is the only event that had as much excitement at the start and the end. Because remember we had the Fonseca run, we had Tien, Medvedev was pretty epic. Mensik did some stuff. So I feel like the Australian Open is the best event so far, and maybe Rome close to it. I feel like if the final of the men's was 3 sets, it would be definitely number one. But I think it sucks because like the final of the men's Australian Open was boring as hell. So it's Rome might be the second. If Alcaraz Sinner went 3, Rome would have been number one by a mile. But because it's not, I'm going to say Australian Open's still the best combined tournament this year. Only because of the ladies' side. Like the women's event carried, right? The men carried early and the women carried after that. So tomorrow we're not watching anything. Tomorrow is a day off, chat. What the hell is even that? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm going to go thrifting. Find some more DVDs. That's what I'm going to do tomorrow. Oh, actually, maybe I can go on an adventure. Chad, I went to IKEA today and I bought shelving so I can build a shelf. And that shelf is going to house all my DVDs. My DVD collection, which is ever growing. It's tomorrow, Tuesday. They're just warming up, and then we'll get started. The hell? All right. Build Lego set. It takes time to build. Nah, I don't want to buy. I don't want to spend money on Lego. Lego's expensive. Hey, Arian, thank you for the 9 months, and thank you, Rafa, for the for the 3 months.
Chem is goat, hit the like button and subscribe.
Hey, thank you, Aaron. I don't know why it didn't come up on the screen, but thank you for the $2. Appreciate it. I love pottering around IKEA. You know, I knew what I wanted, so I went straight to the shelves. Like, I'm not walking around here buying stuff I don't need. I don't need scented candles or fake plants, so I went straight to the shelves. I bought them, and then I went straight to the hardware store and I bought nails to fix it. Anyways, Dasher serving. I'm going to go Dasher in 3. She wins the first point. 15-love. Who you got, chat? Let me know. Who have you got? This is a 50-50 match, but I'm going to go Dasher. It is a 50-50 according to the betting. As that goes out by Raducanu, 30-love. Dasher's never lost to Raducanu, never lost a set. Which may be confusing to some. As a default, second serve. Second serve. Double fault Dasher, all right. 30-15. Aussie Dasher. I think this is the only second time we've watched Dasher since she's turned to an Aussie, which we love. Yeah, we watched her play Charleston against Kenin, and now here. But unfortunately, Dasher hasn't been winning much tennis, so we haven't been able to watch her much. She's been losing, unfortunately, a little early. 40-15. As Dasher serves down the tee. The backhand of Raducanu. Return goes back into Dasher. Raducanu backhand into the backhand of Dasher. Goes down the middle to the forehand of Raducanu. As Dasher forehand again to the forehand of Raducanu. Then Dasher forehand inside out goes wide. There's a chance there. 40-30. Turn to an Aussie. Yeah, yeah, that's what happened, right? All right, 40-30. I mean, how else do I explain it? Decided to represent Australia. Is that better? By the way, she's only played. So the losses that Dasher's had lately. She hasn't been great on clay this season yet. As that goes in the forward of Raducanu, that's a great shot for Raducanu. We get the deuce. She lost to Alexandrova in Madrid, and she lost to Kostyuk in Rome. So that kind of is tough. And Kenin in Charleston. So I mean, Kenin, Alexandrova, Kostyuk. Like, you gotta have context, right? You know, yeah, okay, she's won one of her last 4. She's 3 wins. 1 win, 3 losses in her past 4 tournaments or past 4 matches. But those are just terrible draws. I mean, Alexandrova on a fast clay court and Kostyuk in Rome after the Madrid matches is just bad. Anyways, advantage Raducanu. And now she's got to play Raducanu in the first round. As Dasher, she hit the tape and it went out. Raducanu breaks. 1-love. That's just unlucky for Dasher. All right. 1-love Raducanu. I won an eBay auction for a Funko Rafa Pop. Nice, Deb. Hopefully you didn't pay too much. Love that. All right. First break in the first game. Let's see if Raducanu can serve. By the way, chat, yesterday's Rome final between Alcaraz and Sinner, second biggest Rome match on the channel all time. Second biggest match. Can anyone guess the biggest Rome Open match we've ever watched? By the way, Mark Petchy in the house, he's still coaching Raducanu. Can anyone name the biggest Rome Open match we've ever watched? Because yesterday was the second. Djokovic Nadal 2021. that was the final. So 4 years ago was the biggest one, but yesterday was the second. So, I mean, we're never going to look. Goats playing. To be honest, if that match yesterday had gone 3 sets, it might have come close. But when you got the goats playing each other, and I think Rafa, was it Nadal Djokovic? Nadal Djokovic Rome was a 3-set banger, right? Yeah, it was 7-5, 1-6, 6-3 Rafa. So it was an absolute banger as well. So had yesterday gone 3 sets, it might have been able to top that. But second largest Rome match is pretty good behind 2 goats. So anything behind goat matches at this point is good for the channel. If no goats are involved and we're doing that, it's the best non-goat match at Rome. So it was a pretty big deal yesterday. It's crazy. As that goes wide by in the net by Dasher, and it's 30-15 Raducanu. Trying to consolidate the break. All right, 30-15. No, we didn't have 10,000 people watching. We would have if we went the distance, we would have had probably 10K, but how many people do we have? We had about 7,500 people watching, which is pretty crazy for anything outside of Slam. As we had a drop shot in the net by Raducanu, and it's 30-all. Chance for Dasher to break back. Serve. Into the backhand of Dasher. 4-0 from Raducanu. To the backhand of Dasher. There's Raducanu slice. In the net. Advantage Dasher to take the break. To take the break back. All right, 30-40. As the return goes out by Dasher, and we get the deuce. Can we root for Raducanu? Of course you can. All right, deuce. Get the deuce. As the return goes in the forehand of Raducanu. Backhand from Dasher. Into the forehand of Raducanu. Dasher forehand. Again, the forehand of Raducanu. Into the backhand of Dasher. Raducanu forehand cross. Dasher gets on the stretch. Goes down the line for a winner. And it's advantage Kasatkina. Advantage Kasatkina. Take back the break. Serve to the forward of Dasher. To the backhand of Raducanu. Dasher backhand. Into the forward of Raducanu. That's a good shot. Dasher gets on the stretch. Raducanu goes down the line, but hits it long. Dasher breaks. Back on serve. 1-all. 1-1. One all. 8 minutes to play. This will be a long match. Still walking on air after that win by Alcaraz, but the more somber, safer Carlos is not nearly as fun to watch as the Daredevil. Fair enough. As with a fault by Dasher, second serve. One. As Dasher serves. Into the forehand of Raducanu. Backing it from Dasher. Into the forehand of Raducanu. As Dasher. Get into the forehand of Raducanu. Down the line. But no, Dasher hit it long. Love 15. Two of favorite of Cam's playing. His birthday wish fulfilled. No, this is... Yeah, this is what I wanted for my birthday. Yep. This is a... happy birthday to me. By the way, not automatic line calls, so the umpires are going to have to do some exercise because there's lines people. Remember, this is not the WTA don't have through all the events with the automatic line calls like they do with the ATP. It's only an ATP thing. 15-0. But some WTA events do because of the if they're joint. But when they're on their own, like this, it's different. By the way, does Roland Garros? I don't think Roland Garros have automatic line calls. I'm pretty sure they have lines people. Oh, Chad, it's gonna be bad. Chad, it's gonna be bad. Remember last year they had like the camera on the umpire's face? It's gonna be. Maybe they'll give them glasses this time, like Google glasses or something. Anyway, 15-0. Is it a 4-4 rally? Down the line from Dasher in the net, 15-30. Hang on, let me check. Let me check. Probably. $15-30 is going to 400 from Dasher into the 400 Raducanu. Dasher down the line is long and it's 15-40. Oh my God. So they've changed the schedule for Roland Garros to make matches later. So that's fun. ATP to adopt electronic line calls. We know that. French Open is, I think, the only one that's not. Yeah, so I don't think Roland Garros is going to have automatic line calls. Pardon me. Raducanu breaks. 2-1. 3 breaks to start. I'm pretty sure that because I know Wimbledon have ditched the lines people, but I don't think Roland Garros have. I thought you were having a week off. I said we're having a week, a light week this week. And this is a match that we have to watch because we have to. We have to watch. I'm confused. What are you confused about? The Roland Garros? I'm pretty sure they have. I don't think they have automatic line calls. I don't even think they use Hawkeye. Like it's back to the old school. I don't even think they use Hawkeye. All right. Who's winning this match? I'm going with Dasher in 3. Roland Garros keeps changing ticketing. Caught me out this year. Hopefully you get it sorted. RG is doing qualifiers right now. Oh, do they have Hawkeye? Are they lines people? I can't watch the qualies. Are they lines people? Okay, 2-1 Raducanu. 3 breaks to start the match. It is a bit breezy out there as well. As Raducanu serves. A fault? Oh, it's a double fault. No, it was out by Dasher. Okay, it was in, was it? That serve was in? 15 love. I'm no lines person. 15 love. Imagine Dasher is planning to crash out earlier as usual so she can get back to what seems to be her main focus, vlogging. Hey, God forbid you have a hobby, eh? God forbid you have a bloody hobby these days. You know? Raducanu gets, has to take some photos for a shoot for Porsche. Oh, she's not even watching. She's not even playing tennis anymore. Oh, Dasher's filming a vlog. Oh, she doesn't even like tennis. God forbid you have a freaking hobby. Anyways, 30 love. Sinner's doing vlogs too. Do you think that's why you lost against Alcaraz yesterday? I think that must have been it. He did a vlog. Remember, he put it out like 2 weeks ago saying he's back, and then he lost the final. God, see, Alcaraz, he went to Ibiza though. But so, I mean, what are we doing? Didn't you watch the Alcaraz documentary? Is that why he lost the Olympics? Because he did a documentary? Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. No idea. 30 love. That goes out by Raducanu. 40 love. 40 love. God, chat. Are we allowed to have hobbies? Are these tennis players allowed to have hobbies? Swiatek plays Lego. I think that's why she hasn't won any matches lately. Is that why she plays too much Lego? She likes Lego too much. Anyways, 3-1. Oh, man. Stupid comment. It's Dash's girlfriend who does it. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. It's not even her. It's her partner does it and she's just in them because they travel around together. I don't think she does the editing and all the behind the scenes stuff. She just kind of like asks the questions in the locker room. All right. Dasher, down a break, 3-1. Who are the next big three? There won't be any. There will be none. Oh, what happened? Oh, you're spamming. Anyways, 3-1. As with a 4-1 winner from Raducanu, love 15. It's probably not healthy to think about tennis 24/7. A hobby is good. Yeah. I mean, look, there's obviously players that are obsessed with tennis and that's all their life and, you know. But even, I mean, look, Rafa played golf, right? You know, it's you know, it's unhealthy to be obsessed about anything. Work is included, right? Love 30. Or at least it's, you got to mix it up. Why do you think I'm collecting DVDs, chat? Got to mix it up. Raducanu's won 9 of the last 10 points. What the hell? Love 30. Serve to the forehand of Raducanu. Return goes in the forehand of Dasha. Dasha puts it away. 15-30. 15-30. $15.30. Cam, how do I donate over 50 DVDs if I found you on the street in Melbourne the other day? You don't have. That's fine. It's all right, Dan. Thank you. Thank you, though. You don't have to do that. It's all right. As we double fault from Dasher, and it's 15.40. Now, what I want to try and do with this DVD collection is because I was thinking about it the other day. I'm like, oh, maybe I could buy some online or whatever. I'm like, no. I think part of the fun of this whole thing I'm doing is trying to like find like everything I've got in the collection is found. I found it at a thrift store or in a wherever it was. Like I feel like that's gonna be part of it. If I just buy them all online, because I was like, oh, maybe I'll buy a bulk lot of like 100 DVDs and like keep the ones I like and get rid of the other ones. But then I'm like, that's not fun. That's not as fun as like going in blind and finding the movie that I've been searching for months. Like, I feel like that's way more fun. DVDs is at 2010. I mean, in my house it is, yeah. In my house it's actually 2001. Is it a backhand rally? 2000. It's the year 2000. The millennium just hit. As Raducanu puts it down the line to the slice of Dasha, forehand of Raducanu, into the backhand of Dasha, into the forehand of Raducanu as Dasha goes forehand again, still break point over Raducanu as Dasha goes down the line. Raducanu's there with the backhand. Into the backhand of Dasha. Forehand of Raducanu goes wide and we get the deuce. I was literally coming back home and saw random boxes from my neighbors moving out and one was full of great DVDs. Oh, really, Dan? What did they have? What kind of DVDs? What kind of DVDs? I'll take anything horror if you have any horror DVDs. All right, deuce. There's a bit of fault. Second serve. Second serve. Into the forehand of Raducanu. Return to the forehand of Dasha. But Dasha hits it wide. And it's advantage Raducanu. But the umpire's going to double check. And it was wide by Dasha. All right, advantage Raducanu to take the break, the double break. I'm going to serve in the forward of Raducanu. Backhand out from Dasha into the back of Raducanu. Dasha backhand. Goes long. And it's 4-1. Double break. I'll send you some DVDs. Hey, look, if you want to send DVDs to the PO box, feel free. You can go do it if you want, but I feel like it'd be a tad expensive, so don't do that. It's too expensive. I've been lazy to go through them, sitting there waiting to be cleaned and sorted in my living room. But yeah, Epic, fine. Some Epic's Final Destination. Oh, okay. Nice. I just left the thrift shop. Got a bunch of things. Nice. Love going thrifting. So much fun. Emma serving well. Yeah, I mean she got broken the first game of the match, but she's been serving well ever since. It's a thrift shop, the same as a charity shop. It's a charity shop. A place that is full of secondhand items that have been donated by people. That is what it is. Whatever you call it in your countries. I think tennis is better than football. Cool. Fanini's playing at qualifiers. Nice. It's recycling. I highly recommend. Yeah, well, that's it. That's another reason why, I want to try and try and find stuff. Like, it's so much fun. And yeah, instead of buying something brand new, you can recycle and get use out of somebody else's stuff. There's a 4 now from Raducanu. From Dasha. Raducanu back in the net, and it's love 15. When I see a thrift store, I think of the stupid Macklemore song. Fair enough. Some thrift stores help those with disabilities find employment. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I've been to thrift stores that and they also give retirees a chance to still do work if they want. There's a lot of volunteers. I go to a lot of thrift stores where it's retirees getting being able to do some work and get out and socialize. And I've also been in thrift stores where people with disabilities have been running the register and helping out. It's awesome. Is it a fault from Raducanu? Second serve. Yeah, thrift stores are charity shops. 15-all. Do you know Carousel going to play at Geneva? Yeah, so because I'm kind of an idiot, I kept hearing Carousel, and I'm like, why? Who is Carousel? I know who he is now. I knew who he was, but I didn't know the name. And then when I looked up, when I'm like, because obviously I watch Tennis Brothers, Felix from Tennis Brothers. And I kept hearing everyone say Carousel, like he's in the qualies, he's doing this. I'm like, this guy, who is this guy? And then I looked at this guy, I know who that is. I just didn't know the name. Yeah, apparently he's playing Marijan, which is awesome. Because was he a coach or a hitting partner and then he got injured and then he, after at 30 years old, decided to go pro? Is that what his story was? I don't know exactly the story. But it's I think it's something along those lines. I think so. He's got a YouTube channel as well. Go check it out. Doing all the yeah, okay. Because I think I saw his video saying it was becoming pro after 30 or something. Like I saw that, and it's like a series that he's been doing, kind of like what tennis brothers are doing, right? 30 all. So that's crazy. To play Marijan on clay, that'd be fun. All right, 30 all. So hopefully, I think if he makes the quarters, he plays Djokovic. Is that right? Is he in that section? As the return goes in the backhand of Raducanu, backhand from Dasha, sliced into the forehand of Raducanu. Is Dasha again to the forehand of Raducanu, into the Dasha forehand. Raducanu down the line, Dasha backhand. Goes to the backhand of Raducanu, Dasha backhand again, into the backhand of Raducanu, and Dasha again with the backhand goes wide, and it's 40-30. Raducanu to go to 5-1. He was a pro before, but now he's giving it a second try. Oh, okay. So he was a pro in like early 20s, I guess, or like teenage years. And then, yeah, I don't know the full story, so I'm going to have to do some more research. All I know is that I remember seeing a video of him, because again, I didn't know the name. I just knew I knew the face when I saw him. Oh, this guy. Okay, I know who this is. As Raducanu to win a 5-1. That is cool. All right, 5-1. See, Chad, and I feel like a lot of people are doing this now. It's become more common. But I'd much rather see like somebody coming from I wouldn't say from nothing, but from a futures level and working their way up to the ATP. And I feel like a lot of lower ranked players are doing that. Like I've seen a lot of channels like randomly pop up on my timeline at times and be like, going to my first futures event and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, so like it seems like a lot of people doing that, and it makes sense because at that level, starting a YouTube channel and showing that progression is exciting for everybody, right? Whereas it probably wouldn't be as exciting if if you just were like number 20 in the world and you're like, oh yeah, I'm now going to vlog. It's different with Dasha because Dasha does like more behind the scenes, which hadn't been done before Dasha did it. Now, I don't know if anyone else does it, but before nobody did it, right? But it wouldn't be as exciting if it's like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm like if like Swiatek and Sabalenka all had vlogs, you'd be like, cool, I guess, but it's also like you want to see the players go from progress, from start to finish, rather than be like, oh yeah, now I'm kind of like Tsitsipas' vlogs. He was already at the top when he started filming himself doing stuff, right? So it's a little bit. It doesn't feel as like from nothing to the top. Would have loved to see Steph when he was like 18. What he was doing then and vlogging at that point. That would have been way cooler than being like, all right, well now I'm here. This is what it's like to be one of the best tennis players in the world. You're like, okay, cool. I don't know, but Steph doesn't do vlogs as much as he used to. Anyways, Dasha hits a long. We're gonna set point here, 30-40. All right, 30-40. As the return goes into the forehand of Dasha. Dasha hits a long. All right, Raducanu 6-1. Dasha couldn't hold serve. 6-1 Raducanu, first set. All right, let's go through some stats. Hopefully they show them. It's a 500 event. They should show the stats. They should show the stats. Yep, 5 winners Raducanu, 8 errors. 4 winners Dasha, 18 errors. So with Dasha and 4 double faults, with Dasha's game, when she's hitting a lot of errors, she doesn't hit a lot of winners. So when she's hit 18 errors, that's brutal. Her best tennis is when she's hit, a handful of errors because she's not going to hit that many winners. We know that. That's not how Dasha plays. But she's just giving away. I think she's maybe panicking a little bit. By the way, that's Raducanu's first set against Dasha. I think Dasha might be just panicking a little bit, trying to play more aggressive than she's comfortable with because she thinks that Raducanu is going to be aggressive maybe. But too many errors by Dasha. She needs to just rally a little bit. But then, again, maybe she's afraid that if she rallies, that Raducanu is going to start hitting winners. But Raducanu's not hitting winners. So maybe Dasha can, try and keep it a little cleaner. Do you see the error count for Gauff and Zhang? Yeah, that was brutal. That was brutal. The first set was like 70 errors, wasn't it? Crazy. Okay. Let's see if Dasha can recover here. Even though I like Emma, I don't want Dasha to be thrashed. Me too. I do not want Dasha to lose either. By the way, Zverev won earlier today in Hamburg. And I think Rublev won earlier today as well. So that's fun. Emma can still lose this match. If Dasha finds form, she can have a chance of winning. Could be love and one in the second and third. Yeah, maybe. I mean, that stuff happens, right? We do see that stuff. Okay. Raducanu serving first in the second. Let's see if Dasha can recover. It was supposed to be a 50-50 match. Yep. Rublev is sick and looked awful. Not sure he is going to be playing right before Roland Garros if he's ill. Yeah, he could. He could withdraw. I think a lot of players are probably going to withdraw this week. So, like, if in Geneva, right? If it's going to rain all week in Geneva, Djokovic probably won't play the entire event. What is the weather in Geneva looking like? Yeah, it's going to rain all week. Oh, the weekend, because remember, Saturday final and then Sunday Roland Garros starts. What's the French Open weather look like? Ooh, Sunday's going to rain. Day one might be raining. It's going to be a cold French Open, it looks like. Okay. Raducanu serving first in the second. 6-1 first set, Raducanu. As a return from Dasha goes wide. 15 love. As we do a turn now into the backhand of Dasha. And then backhand winner from Raducanu, 30 love. As Raducanu serves again. The backhand, dasher in the net, 40 love. Serve again. Is a fault. Second serve. Second serve. Raducanu is a double fault. 40-15. Raducanu serves. There's a return. Nope, that's a fault. Second serve. Question, why is Andreescu playing qualifiers at Roland Garros if she is number 102 in the world? Isn't that automatic entry? Good question. I was shocked too. But that's a good question. So the return goes in the forehand of Raducanu. Forehand from Dasher into the backhand of Raducanu. Dasher forehand. Again, the backhand of Raducanu. There's Dasher. Backhand into the slice of Raducanu is Dasher with a forehand. Again to the backhand of Raducanu. Into the backhand of Dasher. There's Raducanu's slice. Dasher slices it back. There's Raducanu slices again. Dasher's got it back with a slice, but it's long and it's one love Raducanu in the second. So the reason why, so there's two different important times when we're watching for rankings, right? For slams. So there's the week before a slam, so the Monday before the slam, that is where the seeds are set. So whoever's in the top 32 at that point is seeded. So that's the first one. The second one is 6 weeks before the event starts. That's when the entry list comes out. So the entry list, so 6 weeks before, they lock in the rankings, and whoever's in the top 100 at that point, around 100, those players are playing. So are automatically entered, right? So it's not the seeds, it's the entry list. So if you're number 80 in the world 6 weeks ago and you drop down to number 150, you're allowed to play the French because you were 80 in the world when the entry list date was cut, right? And the opposite is also true. So if you were 150 6 weeks ago and now you're number 50, you're not going to get in because you were 150 6 weeks ago. So it's always 6 weeks prior for anyone outside the top 32. So Andreescu, 6 weeks ago, if I look up what her ranking was 6 weeks ago. Six weeks was like basically the start of the clay season, right? So 6 weeks ago she was 159 or 130, sorry, in Rouen when she first played her match. So she was 130 in the world. So that was her entry to the French, 130, and that doesn't get you in. You got to be in the top, probably about 90 to get the cutoff. I did a video on this, but let me just triple check what the entry list cutoff was. So the entry list came out on the 14th of May. That can't be right. Oh, it came the 15th of April. So 6 weeks ago, right? So whatever your ranking was on the 15th of April, that is whether or not you got in. That determined it. So having a look. So the entry list cutoff was 101. And Andreescu at the time was 130, like I said. So 101 was the cutoff. And of course, players could pull out. Like if 30 players have withdrawn from the top 100, she would have got in, right? But yeah, the entry list, that's what the entry list is. So the entry list is 6 weeks ago. That's why Andreescu is not playing main draw. She has to go through qualies. Now, they could have given her a wild card, but usually how these things go, when it's the French Open, US Open, Australian Open, because Wimbledon do their own thing, there are, I think, 12 wild cards for Roland Garros. And one of them go to an Australian player out of this, I guess, exchange, this wild card exchange. One goes to the US Open, so an American, and then all the others are pretty much French unless they decide to pick a player like Wawrinka or whoever, right? But the French Open are notorious for not giving players who deserve a wild card. Team, Schwartzman, for recently, they're notorious for not giving them out to players that we all think should get them. Andreescu, right? She should get a wild card. She's been pretty good in her comeback, but they give it to French players instead because it's the French Open. But Wawrinka got a wild card, but he's also kind of French, right? Anyways, Raducanu breaks 2-love in the second. So does that explain it? Does that make sense? Any questions? Any questions? Just to clarify, the draw is made up of, at least last year's draw was made up of 8 wild cards. 6 French, 2 otherwise. And also protected rankings have a thing. It's a whole thing. This year it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so you've got School Cake got the Australian wild card. Nava got the American wild card. Wawrinka got a wild card because it's probably going to be his last event, Grand French Open. And then you've got a bunch of French players, including Gasquet. So there you go. And then Wimbledon, they just do their own thing. They just give it to whoever they want. They don't have like an agreement with the other slams. So their wild cards usually go to all the British players. They usually have 8 British wild cards, and they don't give any to Australia or anyone else. So, but sometimes they do, but mostly they don't. Mostly the wild cards are all just locals. And they can do that because they don't have any agreement with the other slams, which is what it is. But last year, 8 wild cards, all British. They were all British. 15-0. Anyways, hopefully that explains in detail. Good hitting from Raducanu. 15-0. As Raducanu serves again. Fault, second serve. You know what, Chad? I just got a crazy idea, but I kind of love it, and I think it's the best idea. I'm going to say it in a second. I reckon this might be the greatest idea I've ever come up with. Actually, that's probably a bit too much. I think it's a good idea. Maybe it's not, but I think it's great. But you can tell me if it's not. As that goes out by Raducanu 15-30. Chat, what if we did this instead? For Grand Slams only, right? For Grand Slams. You had 1 British wild card, 1 American wild card, 1 French wild card, 1 Australian wild card, 3 wild cards for locals, so if it's whatever slam it is, and then 1 wild card is a fan vote. Like a fan pick. We get to vote and pick who gets the last wild card. Does that not sound amazing? Can you imagine? I mean, it could be ugly. It could get weird, but that would be a good idea, right? Is that not a bad idea? Is that a good idea? I don't know if it's a bad idea. I don't think it's a bad idea. 15-30. I feel like that's a great idea. Anyways, backhand slice into the forehand of Dasha as we get a backhand for Raducanu in the net. 15-40. Dasha to break back. Great idea. Who would you vote for? They should give an amateur. Well, they give that to anyone. They give amateurs anyway. They give amateurs wild cards anyway. You need to pitch that idea. Great idea. Weirder the better. I mean, it could go to obviously it's not going to go to the tournament would handpick 5 players, right? When the entry list comes out, you know who's not going to be in the draw. So you could go, okay, fan pick, and what did I just say before? I'll give you a list of 5 players that could be in the wild card votes. Anyway, it's 15-40. As it forehand in the line, the backhand of Raducanu, backing out from Dasha. Into the slice of Raducanu. There's Dasha backhand. Down the line, that's a great shot. Raducanu gets it. And then Dasha, forehand winner. She breaks back. 2-1. Okay, so here's the 5 that I'm going to give you, right? So Bianca Andreescu is one of the eligible votes, right? We'll go with Sloane Stephens, even though she's not playing. Sloane Stephens, right? So we're going Grand Slam champions who are not getting a chance here. We'll go with who else is around? It's because remember, wild cards usually go to the players that are players that are well known. You wouldn't give it to just a random unless there's like a random like 16-year-old that you want to give a chance. Maybe Jovic. Remember Jovic? She's like a young American player. She's pretty. I think she's she's like an up and coming player that people have given wild cards to other tournaments. Maybe you put her in there as well. I'm just having a look if we've got. Who else? Arani? Arani's in the qualies apparently. Maybe give one to Arani. Or Trevisan. I mean, Trevison's in the qualies too. Maybe it's Trevisan and Arani. Maybe you give it to Trevisan and Arani. There's your 5. And then you got to pick, and then, we do the fan vote. Maybe not Trevisan. Arani for sure, though. I think Arani deserves one. It deserves to be an option, right? Anyone else I'm missing? Sakkari's in the main draw. She's not qualifying. Anyone else? Just have a look down the list. Maybe on the men's side. Is there any on the men's side? Mboko? Yeah, you can go on Mboko for sure. Mboko for sure. All right, Love 15. Dasha hasn't held serve yet, which is a little concerning. On the men's side, you could go Chorich, Cilic, Fanini. Who else is on that list? I don't know. Is Dasha gets 15-0? Looking for players that are like maybe Nagel. Why not? Maybe you put in maybe you put someone like a Basevaretti, right? Or another player that I'm missing that I can't think of. So yeah, so that like those 5, right? And then we get to vote out of those 5 who gets a wild card. I feel like that's a great idea. I like that idea. Chat, is there anything wrong with that idea? Poke holes in my idea if you don't think it's good. Let me know what you think. I feel like that's a decent idea. The 7th wild card or the 8th wild card is a fan voted vote. And we get 6 weeks to vote for it. Gasquet's already got a wild card. We don't have to vote for him. All right, 30-0. Dash is trying to hold. And she serves a fault second serve. Second serve. Double fault Dasher. I forecast a Raducanu Pegula final. Well, they're in the same half of the draw, so it'll be a quarterfinal. They can't play in the final. All right. As we get a return out of the forehand of Dasher, backhand out from Raducanu into the backhand of Dasher. Dasher to the long. There's the break. 3-1. Raducanu leads. Dasher still can't hold serve. Not a bad idea if they provided a list of players to choose from. Yeah. They like the French Open would. And look, it's 6 weeks is a long time to get the votes. I feel like that'd just be so interactive. Like, it would just get the fan. Like, it would feel weird. Like, it would be so inclusive for fans. I would love that. And then a player that, instead of the tournament being like picking players because they think that they're, that French people are going to watch just the locals, which they are, but like to give the fans a chance to vote someone in, like, I feel like that'd be great. That'd be such a great idea. Like, it would feel like the fans actually have a say in what happens. And then it would be funny because that wild card would probably then become the fan favorite because they got in, right, by the votes. And then that player might get, that maybe the following of that. I mean, again, if they get voted in by fans, they obviously have fans that people want to watch them, right? So why wouldn't you vote them in? You know what I mean? Because the reason why people get wild cards is because they they draw a crowd, or they're a young local player that everyone's gonna want to watch. But if we're voting for one of the wild cards, we want to watch them, right? That's why we're voting for them. People will just vote Rafa and Roger? No, they won't, because they won't be in the votes. Love 15. How would the voting happen online? It would be an online vote. It would be on like the French Open website or something. It'd be something simple. I think it's a great idea. Is it a 4-4 rally? Raducanu forehand goes wide. It's love 30. Chad, I think this is a great idea. I don't see any bad. I don't think it's bad at all. Fan votes don't work. It's like in football, goal of the month. Top supported teams always win. Yeah, but it won't be the same players all the time. It won't be the same 5 players that always get named. Because the 5, if the tournament did its work, they would pick 5 players that are either playing well at the time or are Grand Slam champions that aren't. Again, I feel like voting online would be a risk, sabotage the vote. I mean, yeah, okay, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, okay. There's obviously always risk with voting online because, people can make like multiple accounts and try and screw it up. Fan voting for All-Stars is horrible. Voting for one wild card is harmless, though. Yeah, I feel like one wild card is harmless. If we voted for all of them, that'd be wild. It'd be crazy. But voting for one, like having one wild card go, I mean, it would be a nice test to see if it actually does work. Could you imagine the logistics of counting all the votes, though? Literally online. Like, you just vote on, like, you do an online thing. You don't have to do you don't have to count the votes. It's not like an election where you have to, go to the polls. This would literally just be a poll on the website and just 5 names and just click your one and submit. It's easy. It's computerized. You know what I mean? All right, 1540. And it wouldn't be vote for everybody. They would handpick 5 players or 3. You can go 3 players. They'd pick 3 players. So then you can't pick some random, 500 in the world player, right? 3 players. I think it'd be interesting. Anyways, breakpoints Dasher to get back on service. We'd return now to the forehand of Raducanu. Dasher forehand slice. Raducanu. Again to the forehand Dasher on the stretch as Raducanu forehand to the line in the net. Dasher breaks back. She just has to hold serve. 3-2. In the West, they love carefully curated democracy. Choose from the choices we give you. I don't know what I mean. Why is there always this East versus West shit? Why do we always do this? Why do people always bring that up? What's going on? I don't feel like in the West, I don't feel like we ever bring up the East. We just talk about countries individually. We don't go, oh, that's the East, and we talk about them differently. We just talk about each country individually. Or city, or, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why it's always the West versus the West. Why are we always against the West? What's up? especially in a tennis terms. It's like, watch your tennis. This is what are we doing? Australia is technically the south, down the bottom of the country of the planet. It's down the bottom, so we're south. Handpicking candidates is an American thing. You can't. Okay, so what you want the votes to be between 1 and 100 players, like 100 player vote. Like there's 100 players that you could vote for. You could do that. All the players that are like in the alternates, you could vote for all of them. Maybe it would be a lot, but I feel like if you just picked, because again, the wild cards usually go to play. Well, they usually get given to players that are going to bring something to the tournament. So that's why I'm saying like, the tournament, if they want to have a little bit more control over the wild card situation, because they don't want just people like, trolling and getting some like random. But then again, I don't care if that happens. I feel like if they're going to troll and it's going to be a troll pick, that'll be kind of sick. I think that'd be great. Because then the wild card will be the people's favorite. Even if it's a troll. I think that's hilarious. Like, that would be so fun. To have, like, I don't know. Let me name a name. To have, just for shits and giggles, Dan Evans gets voted in. And Dan Evans we all know who he is anyway, so it's not like it's some random person. But, or we get, like, I don't know. I don't know. I can't even think of a name. I'm looking at all these names that I don't know. I wouldn't mind that, though. If you want to do that then. Let it just be like 100 players you can vote from. I wouldn't mind that. All the alternates get a chance to get a wild card then. I don't mind that. All right, 15-0. As we just serve now into the forehand of Raducanu. Forehand from Dasha sliced into the backhand of Raducanu. Into the backhand of Dasha on the stretch. Into the backhand of Raducanu is Dasha backhand. Again, the backhand of Raducanu. Dasha backhand again. Into the backhand of Raducanu on the stretch. Dasha forehand is a drop shot. And Raducanu gets up with a slice. Dasha's got the forehand lob. As Raducanu with a forehand volley. Dasha's got the backhand down the line. Raducanu with a forehand cross is a winner though. 15-30. And by the way, whoever gets voted in, it doesn't even matter if it's a troll vote. They obviously have enough people or enough fans that people want them to play, right? Otherwise, like if everybody vote for Tomic, a lot of people are going to want to watch him then. It still works the same way, even if the trolls vote. If you get a troll vote, you're going to get someone go in that obviously people want to see in some capacity, even if it's as a joke, right? If you vote for Tomic, you're probably still going to keep an eye on what he's doing, right? 15-40. So it might not, again, and if anyone's going to do it, I feel the Australian Open would do this. If anybody was going to do this idea, it would be the Australian Open. Because they're always a little bit like ahead of the other slams when it comes to like, innovating and stuff. I think it would just be such a good idea. As Dash hits a winner at 30-40. I think it's such an interesting idea that gets fans involved, but it also gets fans involved with the tournament 6 weeks early. Like you're talking about the Australian Open, in December, and with you're keeping up with the votes, or you're figuring out who gets the vote. I'd love it. I'd love that. And then they announce it. It would be so much fun. 30-40. As we return now from Raducanu, the backhand of Dasha. Raducanu forehand. Into the forehand of Dasha. There's Raducanu with a forehand down the line. That's a great shot. Dasha's there with a slice, though. Raducanu forehand inside out. Dasha's there with another slice. But it's out. 4-2. Raducanu breaks. Just tuning in. I love the idea, by the way. Nice. Chat, did we like the idea? 1 if you like the idea. 2 if you don't like the idea. Vote now. Go vote now. 1 if you like it, 2 if you don't. I feel like you could just have like a fairy tale story though. Like you could pick some random ass player and it would be a fairy tale story. Like I'd love that. Like you could really create like some real interesting... Like imagine if the fan wildcard pick gets to the quarterfinals. I mean, that would be like... Are you serious? Like how crazy would that be? Like wouldn't that be like an all-time story? All right, most people like it. Cool. Australian Open. I know you're definitely not watching, but definitely consider a fan vote for the 8th wild card, please. As that goes wide by Raducanu, it's love 15. It's a good advertising idea as well. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, could definitely... they do the wildcard playoffs, or they used to do those. They got rid of them. And I love those because they were free to go to when I used to go to in December. And I met Leighton Hewitt there. In 2019 when I went to the wildcard playoffs. They stopped doing them for Australian Open. But the wildcard playoffs was so much fun. But if you do a fan vote wildcard, I think that would just do the same thing. It would just be as good. As with a backhand rally, Raducanu again, the backhand of Dasher into the forehand of Raducanu. As Dasher backhand. Good angle as we have a slice now from Raducanu. Dasher backhand down the line, Raducanu puts up a lob. And Dasher with a bounce smash. Oh, she hit it out though. It was a tough bounce smash, 15-all. 15-all. I could see the US Open selling a wildcard to the highest bidder. Well, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about votes. We're talking about the it's a fan-led event. Fans pick a wildcard. Yeah. So one of the wildcards is a fan vote, where the most votes out of a selection of players gets the wildcard, as voted for by fans. Like the fans' choice. I love that. The fans' choice. I love it. The fan favorite. You can call it fan favorite if you want. All right, 15:30. Chance for Dasher to break back. The most American thing ever. It's a bad idea. It should go to rich people. What? 15:30. And there's a bit of serve from Raducanu. Into the backhand of Dasher. Forehand from Raducanu. Into the forehand of Dasher. Is Raducanu forehand? Nope. Dasher in the net. 30-all. Good idea. I like the sound of it. Okay. All right. So mostly positive, it seems. Which country has the most tennis fans then? Hey, I mean, if that's what happens, if the Philippines vote for the Philippines player and they get the wild card, then obviously there's a lot of eyeballs on that player. So it wouldn't be the worst thing. Instead of the tournament trying to predict who's going to get the most popularity, or because wild cards, like I said, wild cards go to former Grand Slam champions because they know that people know who they are, as Dasher in the net and it's 40-30, or they go to players that are locals, right? So if the vote went to somebody from a country that is very love watching tennis, India, China, Philippines, whatever it is, if it's a big country that are going to put a lot of votes in, then obviously that person is getting a lot of attention, which is what wildcards are there to do, is to bring attention. They're not there to play in front of 2 people. You know what I mean? As Dasher hits a winner down the line, we get to deuce. So it would actually make so much sense. If like Sumit Nagal won the wildcard vote, it means that a lot of Indian people, or a lot of people from India, or even just people in general, because I know a lot of people just like him, not necessarily because he's from India. It means that people want to see him in the main draw, so that means people are going to watch him when he is in the main draw. So it makes more sense when I say it even more out loud. Suggest your ideas to the organizers. If you don't ask, you don't get. Well, I'm not asking. I'm just suggesting. You're making a strong case for it. Can't see it happening, though. I could see the Australian Open doing it. I could see the Australian Open doing it as a test, as like a one-off thing. Because they always do things first. Wimbledon would never do it. But I think the Australian Open would definitely give it a shot. Advantage, Dasher. Yeah, give the fans a chance to pick someone to play. Like, I think that would be so, like, I think that's such a great initiative for fans. Like, it makes us feel like we have a say when it comes to these tournaments, right? And this all came because somebody asked in the chat, why is Eldrescu playing the qualies, right? Why is she playing the qualies? Well, she wouldn't be if we had a fan vote and we picked her to play the main draw. She's playing the qualies because of her ranking, but she shouldn't. And she might have won the fan vote if there was a thing, right? Anyways, advantage Dasher, backhand for Raducanu. That goes wide. Dasher breaks again. Can Dasher just hold? We need Dasher to hold. If Dasher can hold, then we got this. She just needs to hold. It should be tested in earlier tournaments before Brisbane and that. No. It wouldn't work on a lower level because people don't watch those tournaments. It has to be in a massive event where people are actually going to vote. Because you can't have like the Brisbane wildcard vote and 30 people vote. Like, that's not going to work. You need to be a big tournament where people actually are going to watch and are paying attention. And you get a lot of casual fans voting as well because they're going to watch the French or whatever. You can't do it for small. You can't test it out on small events. It has to be on the big events because that's the ones that are going to get the most people. Because people don't care who gets a wild card for Brisbane, right? People don't care who gets wild cards for small tournaments. Even 1,000 events, nobody cares. Not as much as Grand Slams. So you got to do it for the slams. It has to be for the slams. But Osa should play tomorrow. Should play. Well, yeah, she might not play. Yeah. Must hold game for Dasher. Yeah, she's got to hold. Brisbane is kind of different. It's opening the season. Yeah, I mean, okay, maybe you could test it in Brisbane, but I don't know if people would give a shit in Brisbane. I don't think you'd get as like a good sample size whether it's a good idea or not. Also, not everybody plays Brisbane. So the list of players, like you wouldn't, like the Australian Open, everybody plays that if they're healthy. Whereas Brisbane, the sample size of players is so small that, you know what I mean? Like Brisbane, or people might be playing another tournament, right? So it's like, well, you can't vote for those players because they're over there. So it's got to be maybe a 1,000 tournament. You could try it, maybe Indian Wells or something. But I think it has to be a big event where like everybody wants to play it, you know. Whereas like if I go to like, I don't even know if I could check this, but if I go to like the sample size for Brisbane, it would be tiny. I mean, let's just do Geneva, right? The alternate list or the qualifier list for Geneva is like 20 players. And maybe Opelka wins the vote or something, but I mean, nobody really... I don't think too many people are that bothered. Yeah, there's about 40-odd players that are alternate. So, yeah. I mean, you could test it out. Maybe you could try it in Brisbane, maybe. 15-all as Dasher tries to hold for the first time today. It rewards paying attention to the draw. Good idea. Yeah, and look, most people that are going to vote for these things are going to be hardcore fans of certain players and are going to be paying attention to, like, the entry list. Like, it's going to be people like us who pay attention to tennis. And we know who deserves a wild card, right? We always hear that deserve a wild card. This would kind of give us a chance to give someone who deserves a wild card. You know, whoever that may be. Anyways, 15:30, Dasher forehand goes long. Dasher's forehand is just not working today. 15:40. As Dasher serves. Into the backhand, Raducanu, but it's a fault. Second serve. Winner of this plays Collins in a couple of days. Second serve, the backhand of Raducanu. Good return, the backhand of Dasher. Raducanu backhand into the forehand of Dasher, who's a drop shot, but it's wide. Dasher's forehand's just not here today. Raducanu serving for the match, 5-3. 5-3. Well, chat, we've come up with another idea. Let's see if it actually happens one day. If it ever happens, you know, you know that where it came from. All right, Raducanu serving for the match. As Raducanu serves. As we default, second serve. Second serve, Raducanu. Into the backhand of Dasher. Return to the forehand of Raducanu. As Dasher. Into the forehand of Raducanu. To the backhand of Dasher on the stretch. Raducanu slice. Into the slice of Dasher. As Raducanu backhand again. Goes down the line for a winner. 15-love. The winner of this plays Collins. Collins Raducanu, though. That's kind of crazy. It's kind of a crazy match. $15-love. Wowee. Raducanu serves again. To the backhand of Dasher. Forehand of Raducanu. Into the forehand of Dasher on the stretch. Raducanu with a forehand. Into the forehand again of Dasher. Now to the forehand of Raducanu. Dasher backhand on the stretch. Goes cross court. The backhand of Raducanu. Goes down the line for a winner. 30-love. But remember, Dasher's never beaten... Raducanu's never beaten Dasher. Before today, never won a set. And you would say that this is Dasher's favourite surface too. So this is a massive win for Raducanu. Never beaten Dasher, and she's beating Dasher on a clay court. $30-love as Raducanu serves. Into the forehand of Dasher. Return into the forehand of Raducanu. Dasher forehand again to the forehand of Raducanu. Into the forehand of Dasher as Raducanu again to the forehand of Dasher with a slice. The back of Raducanu, who hits it wide. That looked like it hit the line. Umpire's going to check. And the ball is out.
It's out! It's out!
30-15. $30-15. What time is it in Australia? It's 3:30 a.m. It's actually not that bad. It's usually been 5, 6 a.m. when I go to sleep. As the return goes out by Dasher. Match points Raducanu, 40-15. To take the straight sets victory. And to take on Danielle Collins in the second round, who I don't know if she's played, but I'll find out for you. I don't think she's played Danielle Collins, has she? Nope, never played. Backhand return for Dasher, goes short, the backhand of Raducanu, it's a drop shot. Dasher gets with a forehand and puts it away. 40-30. Yeah, never played Collins. Collins beat Kennan earlier today. And the winner of that will take on Pegula in the quarterfinals, maybe. So it's a pretty crazy draw. Kalinskaya Pegula is a crazy match too. All right, 40-30. Match point number 2. As Raducanu serves. Into the forehand of Dasher. Return goes in the forehand of Raducanu. Dasher forehand to the backhand of Raducanu. Into the forehand of Dasher. Raducanu forehand. Again to the forehand of Dasher. As Raducanu goes again with the forehand into the forehand of Dasher on the stretch. Raducanu goes down the middle. Dasher backhand. Into the forehand of Raducanu. Goes to the forehand of Dasher. Down line's great. Slice from Raducanu in the net. And Dasher gets the deuce. Two match points saved. Get to deuce. Serve again. As Raducanu says a fault. Second serve. Second serve. Second serve. Into the backhand of Dasha. Return goes to forward of Raducanu. Dasha slice on the stretch. Goes in the net. Advantage Raducanu. Who's your dark horse for the French? I'm thinking Musetti. I'm leaning towards Musetti. But then again, is Djokovic a dark horse? Novak. Novak Djokovic. All right, advantage Raducanu. Why not Feast? Because Feast hasn't done anything lately. As the return goes into the forehand of Raducanu, down the line of the backhand of Dasha, Raducanu backhand. Into the backhand of Dasha. As Raducanu back on the stretch. Dasha down the line. As Raducanu forehand cross. Dasha's got it on the stretch. As Raducanu goes down the line with the forehand. Slice down from Dasha goes into the forehand of Raducanu. Dasha slice on the stretch. Into the forehand of Raducanu. Dasha hangs on with a forehand again for a winner. Dasha!
This is gonna be on tennis.
Best rally she's played all day. Runa, maybe? Oh, yeah, maybe Runa. But I think Musetti's just been consistently really good. He's lost to Alcaraz twice and Draper. So I'm like, I feel like that. I mean, is Draper a dark horse or is he a contender at this point? I feel like he might be more of a contender. Because you got what? Alcaraz and Sinner are the contenders. Zverev, Draper as the four favorites, I guess, maybe. And maybe Djokovic because of Djokovic. And then I'd say Musetti would be a dark horse. Raducanu serves again. 3 match points saved. As we had a double fault Raducanu. Chance for Dasha to break back. Yeah, so Musetti is definitely a dark horse because Tsitsipas is ahead of him. He's equal with Runa. What about Rublev? Nah. But yeah, Musetti is behind Tsitsipas in the betting. As Raducanu, good serve. We get back to deuce. It goes Alcaraz, Sinner, Zverev, Djokovic, Ruud, Tsitsipas, Draper. Man, who's betting on Steph? Interesting. A lot of people betting on Steph. And then on the women's side, it goes Swiatek, Sabalenka, Gauff, Andreeva, Zhang, Paolini, Rabakinas, Fedolina, Mukova, Badosa, Ostapenko, Keys, Kasatkina, Andreescu. Navarro's not even on the list. Navarro and Pegula are way down. How is Pegula not... I mean, Pegula hasn't done much on clay, I guess. Anyways, we get to deuce. Navarro hasn't been great either. Yeah, true. Navarro hasn't been great. As we have a winner down the line from Pegula. From Raducanu. Advantage Raducanu. Pegula's injured. Okay, that makes sense. All right, match point number 4. Advantage Raducanu to take the win. Raducanu serves. To the backhand of Dasha. Raducanu backhand. Into the backhand of Dasha. Sliced. to the forehand of Raducanu. Dasher with a forehand. Again to the forehand of Raducanu. Dasher with a backhand slice in the net. There it is. Raducanu, big win. Big clay court win. God, Dasher just keeps hitting the worst draws too. And the first win for Raducanu against Dasher. GG's. Raducanu plays Collins. That's happening. Couple days. Be happening in a few days. All right. The slower courts don't suit Pegula. Well, Pegula's playing this week, so maybe, depending on how she plays this week, maybe something happens. Maybe she starts to, people start to believe. Will we stream Raducanu Collins? Probably. Hopefully it's not on late. Hopefully it's on like a little earlier than this, because I don't want to stay up late. Dasher's going to go to the French Open without too many wins. Man, she's had such a tough draw. Like, can we just give her a good draw at the French? Like, don't play killers. And I'm not just saying that as a Kasatkina fan and being like, complaining and crying about it. She has had the worst draw. On the clay, right? She beats Davis in Charleston, loses to Kenin. Terrible draw. She beats Parks in Madrid, loses to Alexandrova. Terrible draw. I think Alexandrova was just coming off a good run in Stuttgart as well. So that was an in-form Alexandrova. And then she plays Kostyuk in Rome, who was just coming off a Madrid run, and then Raducanu. Can we not just give Dasher a better draw? God damn it. Kenin, Alexandrova, Kostyuk, Raducanu. Excuse me? I swear to God, if she plays Osaka in the first round of the French, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it. If she gets Eala, or friggin' Raducanu again, or Sakkari, if Dasher plays Sakkari in the first round of the French, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it, chat. Rigged. It's rigged. It's rigged. It's bullshit. Man. That was a tough loss. Never lost to Raducanu before. And she couldn't even hold serve, Dasher. Man. What's better draw if Dasher is in bad form this year? No, Dasher's just getting bad draws. She hasn't been bad this year. She lost to Navarro in Australia in the fourth round. She lost to Pegula in Doha. She lost to Castello, which, in the first round of Dubai. That's not a great loss. Samson over Indian Wells. Then she lost to Baptiste in Miami. That was not a great loss. Then Kenin, Alexandrova, Kostyuk, Raducanu. All those players are tough. And underranked. They should be higher ranked, those players. All those four players I just mentioned should be top 20. Kenin, Raducanu, Alexandrova, and Kostyuk should all be top 20. They're underranked, which is why Dasher keeps having to play them in the first freaking rounds. Ugh. She also lost to Kruger in Abu Dhabi, who I think made the final of that tournament. So, again, Dasher just keeps getting terrible draws. Give Dasher a friggin' qualifier who's never played a clay court match in their life. That wouldn't make sense because, yeah. And she lost to Keys in Adelaide in the quarterfinals, who went on to win the tournament. So that's another terrible draw. Like, quarterfinals, all right, though. And then Paulina Kudmatova in the second round of Brisbane, who made the final. Chat, Dasher just can't catch a break. So hopefully, at the French, she'll play like a 500 in the world wild card that nobody has heard of. And then she'll play somebody else, and then she'll play a third round against a player that is not scary and is not a seeded scary. For example, somebody like third round match against, I don't know. Who's not scary? Everyone's scary. I don't know, like a third round match against, who's not scary? God, I don't even know. Everyone's a killer. I don't know, third round match against like Frey, who is not, I'm not saying that she's not good, but I'm just saying, like out of everybody, maybe that's not a bad matchup. Even Fernandez, I think Dasher would rate her chance against Fernandez, because we know Fernandez is going to beat her off the court, so that's good. Maybe against Putin Saver even, third round, maybe. We'll take that. We'll take that as Dasher fans. And then make the fourth round and take on like Sabalenka or something. We'll take on Pegula in the fourth round. We'll take that all day. You know who isn't scary? Dasher isn't. You know what, Felix? Nobody asked. Nobody asked you. None of these players have anything since Dasher is poor form. Again, nobody asked you. With this luck, Dasher will get Osaka in the first round of Roland Garros. I know, right? If it happens, I'm going to freak out. If you're a fan of Dasher, you don't want to play Sabalenka, surely. No, in a fourth round, if she has to play Sabalenka in a fourth round, I'll take it. And if she makes the fourth round, Dasher, that means she's feeling good. Dasher versus Pegula fourth round. How about that? That's better. Or Paolini. I'll take Dasher Paolini. I'll take Paolini fourth round. Dasher of Bolter would be good. On clay for Dasher, for sure. We'll take that. We will take it. She's going to get like Jabeur first round or something. It's going to be shit. Not fair, chat. Not fair. Come on, give Dasher a good draw for once. She's been getting the worst draws. Her and Swiatek just getting the worst draws. Like, it's just rigged, chat. It's so rigged. Bolter on clay is good for Dasher? Yeah. Did Bolter win a challenger on clay? I don't even know. So did Bublik. So, I mean, I don't know if challenges on clay are really that. I mean, I don't know. Challenges on clay can be a bit random. Mickelson won a challenger on clay and then lost first round the next tournament. So, I don't know how much challenges on clay really matter. Obviously, it's confidence, but it's not like... I mean, you win a 125 and then you lose first round of 1,000. I mean... Zverev has great slam draw luck, but he still does nothing with it. Sometimes. Raducanu is steadily moving up the ranks. Yeah, she is. She sure is. All right, chat. I'm out of here. Thanks for hanging out. A little disappointing that it wasn't a closer matchup, but hopefully Dasher gets a good draw at the French, and when we watch her there, if we watch her there, she won't have to play against killers early in the tournament. But Raducanu wins. Good win for her. She'll play Collins in the second round, so it just gets worse for her. I mean, that was a good win for her. Raducanu on clay against Dasher. That's a very solid win. Who never beaten Dasher before, so big win for Raducanu. And she'll take on Collins in a couple of days. I don't think we're doing anything tomorrow, so don't. So I'll see you in a couple of days because apparently Djokovic isn't playing tomorrow, and neither is anyone that we're going to watch in this tournament. So yeah. So I'll see you guys later. I don't know when we're coming back, but we'll be back eventually. Raducanu wins 6-1, 6-3. She takes out Dasher in the first round, and she will play Collins in the second round. See you later.